Yo, what up, guys? So, I was thinking about I was watching a video with my girl today, and when all these things, like life stuff, right? This average shit normal people is going through. Thinking, how can I use this to create a story for you guys? So, we're watching a movie. It's about this dude. It's a true story, which I love movies that are true stories. Uh, so this dude gets wrongly convicted of a murder, and his sister dedicates her entire life to bailing this dude out, like trying to get him out. She is not that attentive to her kids. They realize that they know it. The gist of that being, we're gonna go over experiences I had with police. It's a combination of the two. You see, once a case is handed to the DA, whether the police that handed it to him are right or wrong, they're fighting to make it right. So I want to go over with you guys some two cases that I've been through that this has happened to me. One of those cases being I had it was summertime up in Wisconsin. I was at my boy's house and I was just getting ready to bag up. And for whatever reason, the cops show up. This is right before the indictment. Cops show up. They run my name. I had active warrants. So I gotta think on the fly. I know what I got out there. There's other stuff that took place that I can't really talk about, but aside from the warrants, there was another reason to run. And I'll leave it at that. Only because I understand the difference between state laws and federal laws. Federal laws, they can convict you on hearsay. State laws, they need physical evidence and hearsay to convict you. So, I'll give you a little bit, but not much. But anyway, just in fear because these officers have, they'll hunt down kids because they ain't got nothing else going on. They'll bust them for stupid little crimes. They'll lock them up for stuff. And don't get me wrong, like, nobody should be doing this stuff anyway. But the problem is the police doing this as opposed to, like, old, small town. Everyone knows each other. He lets them go, and it's not a big deal. When you keep convicting these kids of this stuff, what winds up happening? You give them a record where they're never going to get a good job. You're creating a career criminal by doing this in hopes that they learn it. The problem is they don't teach you. They don't give you the resources each person needs. They'd rather lock you up. And mind you, when someone's locked up, they get paid for that person being locked up. It's not like they're just there for no reason. They're just locking you up. People are getting paid for this. There's private prisons that get paid. Last I heard, it was $25,000. $25,000, I think, a year? Add all those prisoners up, look at those numbers, and tell me why it's more important to not rehabilitate people. Anyway, that is far away from where I'm going at with this. So, I'm at my buddy's house. Cops get called. He runs my name. And this dude happened to have it's one of those, like, a ride along. I don't know if it's like a ride along, like he's gonna be a rookie into this, or just a friend or what the ride along was, but he had a ride along with him. So I'm guessing dude was doing everything by the book. So I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He runs the warrant back. They said, I hear him on the radio say it's active. Alright. So I'm thinking, I'm like, dang, what can I come up with? How can I get out of this situation? Now remember, this is me a long ago. This is stupid. I shouldn't have done this. So I'm like, you know what, dude? You said you're here for a noise complaint, right? He's like, yeah. He's facing me, so he's this way, right? So I said, I heard someone being loud too, and it was over there. So dude turns around. Like, I couldn't make this up. I don't know how this happened, how I got away with doing this. It was dumb. He turns around. Boom! I take off running. There's a flower planter and also / a retaining wall. So it's like a 4-foot wall. I hop up that and take off. And at this time, I had a video recorder case with me. And it had collector coins in it that I researched that were $50 a piece, but I took them for face value. A video camera, a top-notch one for that time, and some other crap, and sugar I used to cut the product that I was selling at the time. Anyway, so I take off running. I'm running through a field. This is by my old house. I hop a fence, and I'm badly on drugs at this time. So physically unable to to actually go through with getting very far away from this guy that's sober and very physically active. I don't know what I was thinking. It was so dumb. Anyway, I hop the fence, I make it behind an apartment building, and there's a row of bushes. So it's like this. Imagine each finger being a bush. They're all in a line like this, right? Well, it's like 20 feet. I'm out of energy, I'm out of breath, my legs are like a noodle. The only thing I could come up with is running in circles around this. I'm running in circles around this. I reverse on him. And I start heading back the opposite way. I wind up running right into this dude, thinking that they were gonna like pop through the middle of that line of bushes I was telling you about, or just flip back on me. And the assumption was they were gonna be chasing me back. It was a stupid assumption. So needless to say, I get booked. And this will be part of the time right before the indictment that I get myself into. And I wind up going to jail, and they charged me with 5 grams, I think it was 5 grams of methamphetamine. It was reported in the newspaper. And my family was like, what is up with you, dude? Like, they knew about the other stuff I was into. They didn't know about that. I'm like, it couldn't have been. Like, I know where I got the powdered sugar, so unless his mom has you ever see those containers in someone's counter, or like you got the little scooper in it to scoop out just what you need out of it? That's what it was. And I scooped it into a bag to cut the product I had at the time. Unless she's got that full of meth, there's no way. So I think that case stretched out for 4.5 months. 4.5 months I had to sit in jail and fight the possession with intent to distribute meth. So I said, set trial. There's no way. They either planted it, which I'm screwed if they did, or it didn't happen. And don't get me wrong, like, all the other charges that were involved in this, I'm guilty of, I'll take. But this, I did not do, which was weird. So we go to pretrial. A pretrial here is like a mini trial. So it's a super, super short version of a trial minus the jurors. This officer shows up and tells him, yeah, dude, the what he had tested positive for. I had Viagra too. I was selling Viagra. It's weird. It is what it is. It's that. So it could have only been the powdered sugar or the Viagra. I totally forgot about that. So I said, there's no possible way this dude comes. My attorney's not believing me. Public defenders don't care about you. They don't care about you getting off. If you have a story, maybe they'll help you out. I got plenty other stories. I've had a lot of cases, unfortunately, through my stupid choices, and I'll go through all of them, and I'll explain the outcomes of them. The gist is they don't care if the cops messed up. They don't care if the DA messed up. They want to charge you. In this case alone will prove that. So the cop goes up and testifies, and I'm immediately thinking, dang, they planted it. Why would this dude be saying that? There's no way what I had on me that night would test positive. My right hand to God, on my dad's life, on whoever's life, there's no way this is going to test positive. I got to go back. I got to wait now. So we're all waiting on the test results. My attorney comes to see me right before court. She says, test results came back. Sucrose, scientific name for sugars, what it tested positive for. Nothing else. That was it. They said, DA's offering you take misdemeanor possession of cocaine. For what? I wasn't caught with cocaine. Why would I take a misdemeanor possession of cocaine? What are you talking about? I'm taking nothing. They're dropping the charge, period. We go in there. Again, I'm nervous. I'm like, shit, did I just mess up? And this is part of the game that they play with you, is this mental game. You get out of it right now and you go home and you know that's the end, or you gamble and you hope, because they're crooked. They already testified against me. This is a police officer. He swore an oath to not lie. What he tested did not test positive, I promise you. He went on stand and testified that it did test positive. So they're already not looking out for me. Needless to say, I beat that case. See you later. Not taking any of that shit you're talking about. And I was done. That was it. I was out. You need to know, do research, study. If you ever wind up in a predicament, which I hope you don't, know what you're doing. Know what you're getting yourself into. And definitely, if you're doing it with a group of people, which most people don't, you better know who you're getting into it with, because you're going to sit time for someone who don't care about you. They would never sacrifice their life for you if you feel that way. If you know you would do that for someone, don't do that. I'm telling you, don't do it. Needless to say, so that's case one. I kept telling the DA, it's wrong, and the proof is, they knew they were wrong when the test result came back. I wasn't arrested for trying to sell something, so you don't get to pawn off a cocaine misdemeanor charge on me. It was methamphetamine. Those are two totally different drugs. This is just proof of how they don't care. They will do whatever they want, however they want. This next case blew my mind. I'm dating this girl, not real serious with, I don't trust her, and I have a kid with her. She got pregnant while I was out on bail, married a dude, got divorced before I got out, and then wanted to hook up after I got out. And not happening. Time goes by. Wait, was this? Yeah. I get out. I fall into this trap of thinking, like, because I want to do everything I need to do as a dad, but when both people aren't on board, it's never going to happen. It's not going to matter. This was one of those times, but it was about him. It wasn't about her. I'm not doing anything with my life. I'll be honest about that. I'm staying there for a little bit. I'm making a way to make money. I'm not gonna talk about what that was. Needless to say, she comes home one night. I'm on Facebook. She's like, "Who are you talking to?" So I tell her who I'm talking to. "What are you talking about?" I tell her what I'm talking about. And it was something she didn't want to hear. It pissed her off. It was sexual things. And I had my cousin on the way. I was fronting him something to move forward. Needless to say, I think I wind up getting arrested. This is where I'm at. He comes. We get in an argument. I said, "Yo, not in front of him. I'm on probation." So she calls the cops. The product I was looking for was gone where I left it. And my cousin shows up as the police show up. I was drinking earlier that day, so I'm like, "Oh, I'm smoked on that. Whatever. Go back to my time. It is what it is." I don't know why. Like, I kept asking for no probation. They just kept giving it to me. So I think I'm getting locked up on that. The next day, wake up in jail. "Oliver, you got court." Like, "Court? You mean a professional visit?" Like, "No, you got court." And blah, 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 so on and so on amount of time. "Come out here. We have some papers for you to sign." I'm like, "Papers for me to sign?" Remember, this is an argument that happened. I pissed her off, and I was selling something that during this time disappeared. It was gone. Okay, I come out there. "You have court this afternoon for," it was I forget the exact charge. The gist of it is she tried saying that I impeded her breathing, aka meaning I choked her. The problem with that being that never happened. And this looks bad. Mind you, I've been locked up. Shit like this does not look good. Okay. And aside from that, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. This isn't on. This is so screwed up, like I couldn't even begin to tell you. And we need you to sign a restraining order. I'll speed this up. My first visit with my public defender is, I said, "Yo, we need to take this case to trial. It didn't happen, blah, blah, blah." She says, "What are you talking about? You're lucky it's not a felony." I'll take my guilty charge when I am guilty of some shit I did. This ain't that. Okay, I know where you're at. You are not on my team. And now mind you, the DA in the last case could have let it go and dropped it. Let him go. Get him out of here. Drop it. They didn't. Now this is a public defender, an attorney that's supposed to be fighting for me, not helping. This is to date, this shit's going on. To date, these lazy assholes are doing nothing. They're like, when you get an attorney and you get in trouble, they are not trying to get you out. They are trying to just get you out of their way so they can keep taking more shit. Which it doesn't make sense to me. why they want to operate like this. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? My option is, okay, so you're worthless for fighting for my freedom, so can you get me bail? She couldn't get bail. All right. Can you get me Bailey status? Could get me Bailey status. First thing at Bailey status, let me explain this to you, is you get work release in jail. So basically, you work all day, you gotta come stay in jail at night. Basically, is it. You're allowed out 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, or childcare, whatever. So I say, well, I'm gonna push this off as long as I can with this shit ass attorney. I'm already here. So I'm gonna push this shit off as long until the next date, the next court date. Then when that court date comes up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fire ass. That buys me more time to find an attorney. This is doing two things. This is buy me time to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna beat this. I live in a state where if any man aside from me and a woman were to get in any sort of argument, and if they lied or not, they will believe the woman unless the man has some sort of significant evidence that he didn't do it. Basically, dudes are fucked where I'm from. That's it. So I push it off as long as I can. I get an attorney while I'm locked up, but we wait until the next court date to do anything about it. I fire her. It buys me enough time to get another attorney, and this dude was a beast. His name was Brad Block. If you can look up my charges, you'll see that this case was beat. It was bogus. It was just BS. Period. And that's frightening because how many other dudes get taken out of society for stuff people shouldn't. He asked me, "What's up? Did you do it?" I told him, "No, I didn't." And it's blowing my mind that whether you're innocent or not, a public defender don't care. They do not care about you. They're gonna act like they care. I got another case that I should have never been charged with. Basically, what the police did was illegal, and it shouldn't have happened. But because they're in a position of power, they're allowed to do what they want, whether it's right or wrong. Who's gonna go against them? Everybody in the city is not going to tell them not to do this and not to do that. They're going to be next in line if they do that. So they're all cowards. They all lay down. No one stands on the truth. It blows my mind. It don't make sense. So I get an attorney. This dude's a beast. We beat this case, and I said, "All right, dude. What about that restraining order? That needs to go. I don't want it on my record." He looks into it. He tried helping me. A restraining order can be held simply, in my case, only, keyword only, she asked me to leave. My response to the judge was, she said, "Did you leave?" I said, "I was trying to straighten things out before I left." She said, she repeated the question, and I was irritated. I'm like, "What's your problem?" "Did you leave immediately?" "I just gave you my answer." "No, I didn't. I was trying to straighten stuff out before I left." I find grounds to keep this order in place. Whatever. So because she did that, it kept my son away from me the whole time. And because she got married while I was away. That dude signed the birth certificate while I was away. Like, these stories I got for you guys are good. You're gonna like them. Stick around. As you can see, I got a light. I'm taking it serious. I want to keep giving you content. I want to bust out reality, the truth. Let's stand on it. What these officials are doing are wrong, and it shouldn't be taking place. And it does every single day because no one cares about people that get in trouble. And it's that simple. You don't need to care about them, but let's care about what's right and wrong. If you have someone that's in trouble, the person that works for the state should have a little integrity, a little bit of honor, and say, so you did nothing wrong, so I'm going to dismiss this case. They don't do that. They don't care. Because to be wrong somehow affects their image. And again, I'll say it, they're cowards. Period. It's all politics. My self-image totally matters. Okay? We're coming for it. We're gonna expose it. That's what we're on. And that's just one of the many things I want to get into. This UFO stuff, dude. Oh my god, I hope UFOs are real. Tell me there's something better than this shit we see here, because this is garbage. Tell me. Please. These psychos that are in power that just take full advantage of power and don't care to make anything better. They get in a position that they begged for, get there, and then don't do anything to help the people that they were just with and left behind. Like, again, I don't know where this is going to go. Honestly, I'd like to get into traveling and visiting all sorts of different stuff. Like, I found a real arrowhead, real life, in exploring these areas and checking them out. And anything's up for grabs at this point. I'm open-minded. If it's interesting, it's cool. I'll do it. Whatever it is, you guys hang in there. I'm gonna do my best to keep pushing out something interesting to you. I hope this was helpful, and these are facts. There's no BS in anything I said. This I really went through. I really sat in jail for months and wasted months of my life and thousands of dollars to fight against people that won't admit when they're wrong for something I didn't do. It's as real as it gets, whether I'm a dirtbag or not. This is equal opportunity. Like I'm saying, if that's how they viewed me, as a dirtbag, that's not your job. Your job is to do what's right, not to ignore what's right and act like this idea you've created is what's real. You look terrible to people looking in. Maybe it'll get to a point where I'll put names on blast. As of right now, I'm gonna leave it be. Yeah, we'll go from there. Love you guys. Like I said, I'm gonna keep doing what I can to push out good content to you. None of this is BS. I'll be as real as I could possibly be. Whatever's in my power, I'll try to be. You guys hang in there. I'll keep up on it. Keep giving you good content.